Hello and welcome to the Editor's Choice Awards for the 2022 Mod of the Year Awards, where we show recognition to the mods that we've found to be personally deserving of attention. We've chosen a series of award categories which range from Best Single Player Mod, to Multiplayer, to Most Anticipated, and to several more unique and theme-related categories. For Best Single Player we have the VTMB Clan Quest mod. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is a game hard not to replay many times, with so many possible routes to take in dialogue and so many different hidden ways to dig into the game. The unofficial patch is an obvious candidate for every single one of these playthroughs, but what if there was another mod out there that not only enhanced the base game, but added half the game's extra content with it? Enter the Clan Quest mod, which gives you the option of teaming up with the bestial Sabat in an effort to snatch control of LA. A new hub, totally new NPCs, and many new quests culminate in a mod feeling as close to an official expansion as we're ever likely to get. For Best Multiplayer we have Halo Combat Revolved. Combat Revolved somehow makes Halo CE into even more a whale of a time with a friend, revising the sandbox, adding more foes into the equation, and expanding the weapon and vehicle roster just enough to enhance without overdoing it. There's plenty of quality of life improvements as well, from diversifying the co-op character to a range of AI and weaponry balances that change how even hardcore Halo fans will approach this classic campaign. It was already hard to beat storming the control room or doing the Warthog rally on the silent cartographer with another Spartan by your side. But Revolved makes it so fun to go back and do it all again. For Best Graphical Overhaul we have Experiment. It can be hard to select for this category, as whilst the many 4K HD AI upscale packs and ambitious reshade presets out there can add a little bit of additional polish to a game, it's hard to pick up on mods that totally reshape how we view a title and the engine it's built upon. Sometimes we select projects that rebuild a game from the ground up, as with last year's winner, to be comparable with modern titles. But this year, Experiment is our pick, as a mod that proves Gold Source is still, well, gold, and has plenty of room for creative reinterpretation. Not only making the most of the technical limitations of the engine, it also takes the art style in a different, fresh direction for its own narrative. And given these graphical revisions, it fits handily into this category. A special mention must go, though, to Portal RTX, not developed by a conventional modding team, but by the folks at Nvidia using RTX Remix. We're excited to see what modders will achieve when the tool finally makes its way into the public's hands. For Best Overhaul mod we have the Back to Fronts mod. The Editor's Choice is a good chance for us to shine a light on some of the top mods that haven't, for whatever reason, placed in Mod of the Year before. So for Best Overhaul, we're exercising that privilege for Back to Fronts, a complete overhaul of Call of Duty 2 featuring new missions for the single player, in addition to new weapons and new enemy types. Newer CODs have had a real lack of modding support. The last time it was a focus was Black Ops 3, but with Modern Warfare 2, 2022 that is, slated to include tools aimed at allowing UGC to flourish, it's a great time to look back on the legacy of COD mods and revisit gems like Back to Fronts. For Best Continued Support we have HaZardModding Co-op for Star Trek Elite Force 2. Elite Force 2 is one of the better Star Trek titles, with the franchise not faring as well in this department as its oft-compared sci-fi twin sibling Star Wars. Built upon the classic Unreal Engine, Elite Force 2 is a solid shooter where you fight off the Borg Collective and prove resistance is not, in fact, futile. The only thing missing is the signature Star Trek away team experience, and with HaZardModding Co-op, a mod that has seen regular updates now for 15 years, that's something now open to all. Featuring multiplayer support in the single-player story and secret missions, this is the mod for the action-oriented Trekkies to get together and kill some Borg. For the expansion-worthy award, we have the Revamp expansion mod. It's no secret that Supreme Commander 2 wasn't quite the sequel the dedicated fans of massive-scale RTS were looking for. It's still a solid game, but compared to the first title, it's considerably cut back and much simpler. For those who are hoping for a little more bang and plenty more economic strategy, the Revamp expansion mod is an unsung hero that has single-handedly brought much of what was loved back into Supreme Commander 2, featuring a more complicated economic model, a revision of the research system to facilitate classic unit tiers, and many more experimentals that are far larger and more destructive than ever before. For the Historical Accuracy Award, we have Insularis Draco. Historical mods, especially for Total War, tend to culminate around the Middle Ages, but there's untapped potential digging back into the centuries before the first millennium, while still remaining in AD. Insularis Draco tries to shine a light on some of the Dark Ages, focusing on the rise of the barbarian kingdoms, the waning influence of the Roman Empire, and the rising powers of Europe in the year 452 AD. There's little peace and quiet in this time of history, and difficult choices will need to be made to eke out supremacy. For the Best Adaptation Award, we have The Lord of the Rings Total War Remastered. Lord of the Rings is a mainstay of the total conversion scene. If there's a game with a medieval or fantasy twist, you can bet there's a mod introducing Tolkien's mythology into the mix. This isn't the first Lord of the Rings total conversion for a Total War game, but it's one of the most promising and beautiful in recent years. Whether you're replaying some of the most iconic battles in the series from a commander on the field's point of view, or pursuing the mod's new campaign, taking the Ringbearer from Hobbiton to the fires of Mordor, this mod's spring of Lord of the Rings action never runs dry. For Best Unique Twist, we have Stray Doom. Earlier this year, we received the feline simulator Stray, which saw players occupy the paws of a curious cat in a cyberpunk world. Stray took the world by storm because, well, anything involving cats usually does, and it spawned an interesting question in one modder's mind. What if Doom, but as a cat? The beautifully bizarre melding of these ideas is Stray Doom, where you'll rip and tear through the usual suspects of demonkind, not as a buffed up space marine, but as a dainty athletic cat. We have to give an honourable mention here to another mod called Doom Shinobi, which, similarly, places you in standard Doom levels against standard Doom enemies, but now as a kick-ass ninja. Stray Doom wins out as the concept is just a little zanier and more fitting of this award, but Shinobi is still worth a go. And finally, for the most anticipated award, Metro 2033 Legacy. Some games are modded to hell and back, whether they feature a proper SDK or not, and some games we'd love to see mods for unfortunately never seem to get their UGC off the ground. That made it a great surprise then to see movement from Metro 2033 Legacy this year as they transitioned to a new engine and continued their journey towards an expansive new POV in Dmitry Glukovsky's world. It was fans of his books that first put these games into motion, and now new fans continue the cycle of creation. That's why we can't wait to see what Legacy has in store for us in 2023. And that's all for this results video. What titles would you have liked to see placed in the awards? Let us know in the comments down below, and enjoy the rest of the Mod of the Year 2022 awards.